I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about, is it too late to go no contact? Well, I think this is a big fear that just about everybody has right after a breakup. Obviously, it's not like somebody breaks up with you and the next day you go on YouTube looking for answers, right? Sometimes it's a couple of weeks before you start to look at things and it really settles in. Now, sometimes people do go on YouTube right away and they're like, whoa, this is what I got to do. This is what the plan I got to come to. Sometimes not. And most of the times not. So what happens is you make a lot of mistakes after a breakup, right? I've made them all. Margaret knows all about them. Yep. You guys know all about them. You know, you're trying to convince your ex to take you back, to just talk to you. You're trying to talk to their friends, their family. You're trying to do the grand gesture. I see that a lot. Yep. People will go out and buy a ring and propose because their ex had been wanting to get married for a long time, and so now they
didn't want to,
and so now you go out there and you try and propose. You do a handwritten letter where you're telling them your feelings and how you're accountable for all the things that you did wrong. And then you start to come onto my channel and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And that's one of the reasons we did this video today, is because we know some of you guys have been watching our channel for a while and you know all about no contact. But a lot of you guys are new, and we have a lot of new people every week, every month.
And no contact is so difficult. It's good to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, you know, if you're in a situation where somebody has decided to end the romantic relationship and they say, look, I don't want to do this, I want to end this relationship, and you obviously go through all of the mistakes, which many of us do, the question is really going to no contact and no longer reaching out to that person going to be effective?
Yeah.
And my answer to that is absolutely.
Well, and I think the evidence of what we've seen from experience says absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, obviously, every situation is different and every breakup is different. So, the more you've pushed your ex and, harassed them, tried to force your agenda on them, the harder it's going to be to turn the situation around. We can't sugarcoat that for you, right? I mean,
right.
We're not going to sit there and tell you that everybody's got an equally wonderful chance. It's just not the case. Everybody's situation is so different. Although, if you do get to the point where you stop reaching out, which is my version of no contact, not reaching out. I saw a couple people post YouTube comments today that my head almost exploded because they said, I've been watching your channel for months and my ex contacted me and I ignored them.
Oh no,
I'm like,
we didn't say
that.
that.
Oh no, you haven't been watching my channel for months. Because it only takes you about a week before you realize, no. Craig says you reply, you don't ignore.
Yeah, but you don't initiate.
And I saw several comments today. I hadn't gone through the comments in a while because I was on break, and I was like, no, you do not ignore somebody. I'm not sure where you're getting it from, but it's definitely not Coach Craig or Coach Margaret.
No.
So, when you're in a position where, you have repeatedly tried to force your agenda on your ex, you have to stop and you've got to leave them alone. You've got to stop reaching out. And the thing that you guys don't understand is when you're going through this, and I see time and time again, after a period of time, your ex no longer knows how you're feeling.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And I thought you could talk a little bit about that because one of the things we were talking about earlier is the change that, your ex is experiencing once you've stopped reaching out. They don't...
Well, yeah. Once you stop reaching out, then they have the space, the time to grieve. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They break up with you. They initially feel relieved because they had to tell you, and that's always hard. So they may be relieved for a short while. If they're still having contact with you, they have no real experience of the consequences of their decision. But eventually, if you stop any of the trivial contacts that you're having about the mailbox, the water bill, whatever things you have going on that you have to take care of, then they have a chance to say, wow, I haven't talked to so-and-so or had contact with so-and-so in 3 days, in a week, in 2 weeks. And then they begin to see the consequences of this decision. The person really did go away.
Yes.
And I really didn't anticipate how difficult this was going to be.
Yes, that's huge.
And that's what we hear very often. I didn't know how hard it was going to be. I didn't understand how attached I was. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So even though you're in a situation where it feels like there's no hope,
right.
Your ex doesn't want to talk to you, they've blocked you. I got a Skype message from somebody the other day. We did an emergency Skype coaching, and the guy was so confident, we're not getting back together, and he made it look like he was hanging out with this other woman, and I'm looking at this girl, and she was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Just beautiful girl, super smart, super articulate. She had a lot going on for her. And I'm like, this guy's going to be back. He's not a fool, okay? I could just tell. There's no way this man is going to not come back to you. And I said, for her situation, you really got to play it tough. Because he was dangling another woman on her. Mm-hmm. And acting, he was really being almost prideful about, loving the attention. Like, because, he had been in love with her for years, even from, middle school.
Oh, my.
Right? So he had always been in love with this girl. And I'm like, there's no way he thinks he's going to find something better. But he's loving that she's, practically begging to get him back. So she sends me a Skype message. I don't know, maybe it was a week later. Guess who messaged me?
Yeah.
And I should have pulled up the message before I did this video. I didn't think to do that. But yeah, so now, of course he's going to want her back. And I had no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But she was, obviously in a position where she thought no contact's not going to help. What do I do? Should I keep chasing after him? Should I make it work with him? What do I have to do here? Of course, one of the hard things about a breakup is if your situation should be no reaching out.
Yeah.
Because there are situations where I'm like, why wouldn't you reach out to this person or contact them again? Because you guys have been in contact in the situation.
If you've already been in contact, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so it can be confusing.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do? You can't do anything except give this person some space and work on yourself.
That's right. Space and time really does change everything. Yeah. It really does.
It really does.
And we know how anxiety-provoking that is when you're going through it, but it really does change things.
Right.
And even though you may have been begging, pestering, even harassing your ex for a matter of weeks or whatever, once you stop reaching out to them and they are in a position where initially it's relief, but then it's starting to wonder.
Yeah.
And then they're starting to look at your social media and wonder where you're at and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you've moved on, because then the power shifts and it's not so one-sided where they have all the power and you have nothing, because you've shown, hey, I can walk away and move forward if I have to.
Right. And as far as they're concerned, you're doing just great.
That's right.
Exactly.
And that's why we always teach you guys how to improve yourself.
Right.
And how to better yourself and educate yourself on attachment and attachment styles and trauma and communication. Because, if you come back in front of them and they're seeing this side of you or this version of you that they never expected, you're only going to look that much more attractive to them.
Absolutely right. Not only that, one of the other reasons why working on yourself works is that since we all beat ourselves up after we get broken up with, if you start to work on yourself, it instantly raises your self-esteem. You're saying, I'm worth it. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to learn my own story. I'm going to learn this. I might go to the gym. I might do all these wonderful things to improve myself. You instantly feel better.
Yeah.
Okay?
But, a lot of times you're just feeling so worthless.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I'm saying. So working on yourself is a good way to stop that.
Yeah, because it's like the person that you loved, it feels like they're saying you have no worth.
That's right.
Right? We're not in a relationship anymore,
Right.
so you have no worth to me.
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And particularly a lot in the women's literature. There's even the song, You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You.
Ouch.
Yes, you are. You know the song?
Yeah.
You're nobody till somebody
Is that
loves
Sinatra?
you. Yeah, it's that era.
I think Sinatra did that.
Yeah, it's medieval that I remember very clearly. But yeah, there's a lot of that out there that I'm not worth anything if I'm not part of a couple. Look at what you see on TV. You never see an advertisement without a couple. It's all about couples. Like if you're not at all times in a relationship, there's something wrong with you. And no, there isn't. No, there
you
isn't.
are an adult.
Yeah.
You don't need somebody to take care of you. Okay? And the more that you get to a position where you realize that, the healthier you're going to be and the more attractive you're going to look to
That's
people.
right.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, no, it's never too late to go no contact and stop reaching out. It doesn't, of course, mean that you'll get another chance with them, but it gets you to have another chance with yourself and to work on yourself.
Right.
And that is far more important than any relationship. Your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you're ever going to have.
Right.
And so you always want to make that the number one priority.
Yep. And that's why I love the work on yourself. When you're feeling the worst, invest in you.
Absolutely. Best thing you could do. When I was going through my breakups, I went to Margaret twice a week. She couldn't get rid of me.
No, I couldn't. And I still haven't, as a matter of fact.
So, of course, when you want to get our help, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is also available for Skype.
Yes, feel free to sign up with me. I'd be delighted to talk with you.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website. Remember, you can now find a lot of my episodes podcasted. Just search for me. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.